let's call the meeting to order. Approval of minutes of June 28th, 2023. Do I have a motion?
Yes, you do.
Amber, do I have a second?
Yes, second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Comments? Okay, motion has been approved.
Nana Siebert, Warren, PO Box 778, Cannon Beach. I would respectfully like to ask our city staff if we are now using Acola Creek water, and if so, could you please tell me the date when that started? Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. Okay. Action items, utility leave requests. That's did anybody have a chance to take a look at it? Amber? Oh, morning, Steve. Oh,
Morning. Yeah. Well, I read in the in-depth. My understanding is that it was a 3-month leak, but it was it was going into the ground. And she did get ion water and got notified through the application. Good news. And that it looked like it was a heavy repair bill. But the normal water usage was like $1,452. And then so we have $1,000 limit. And I think it's an approval to do it because it went into the ground. It did not go back into any kind of sewer. That's my understanding after I read everything.
anyone else? I did not see a staff recommendation this time.
I didn't add one just because I had not submitted a repair bill or a plumber's bill, and I wasn't sure
Yeah, that's
if that
fine.
was significant to the committee, so I figured I'd let you talk about it.
I'm okay with granting the limit $1,000 release. Because it went in the water and she had ion water, which is great. Now she'll be, notified immediately.
Does anybody want to see the plumber bills and any of the paperwork that was done? I mean, it probably seems like it would be a good idea to me, but
Okay. I thought the detail was in there. I don't know if there actually was but all of the numbers were there. As far as what the bill was, who did it, when it was
Yeah,
done.
I'd rather see the backup invoices, which is highlighted in this document.
Okay,
And also because it seems that it's a fail on the customer's equipment part, right? Like it's a
yes,
pump off valve failed that was theirs. And granted, they have ion water, which is great, but
Mhm.
it's still a part on a customer equipment fail, which has nothing to do with the city, in my opinion.
I think we should table this and turn it back to the customer and let them have an opportunity to provide further
Okay.
information
That's good.
and not make a decision right now.
Agreed.
Yeah, that sounds good.
okay. I don't think, do we need a motion for that? I don't think we need a motion. I'd like to table it.
I didn't hear anybody disagree.
No.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Wait. Here, President just, just one more. All right. So we are tabling that. Let's go to discussion and information items.
Lots of good news.
Yes.
We received our FEMA grant for the First Street Bridge project.
Fantastic.
Congratulations, you guys.
We will receive $481,654. The city has to match 10% of that, so $48,165.40. FEMA is trying to schedule a kickoff meeting with us and Civil West, who we hired to oversee this project.
Yes.
And so I will keep you guys apprised as things start to progress, but I'm thrilled that I'm shocked we got the money because we struck out a lot with FEMA and their grants, but so this is great news. So anyway, the assessment will be completed and a full assessment so that we can determine if it can be seismically retrofitted or if they say it is too far gone and it actually needs to be replaced. And if so, then Civil West will provide some sort of engineering specs of what that would entail. So we know the cost associated with replacement, if that's where we put ourselves. Hoping it can be retrofitted. And so we'll keep you updated. Okay.
Very
Sounds
good.
great.
Congratulations, fantastic.
Yes, we're very happy about it. Pacific Power started several weeks ago, and we talked about it in council. I don't know if you guys were listening to the meeting or not. Pacific Power identified a couple of I'll say zones within their power transmission here to the coast that are considered high risk if there were to be a fire.
Ooh.
One of them is downtown, so it's everything from about the 2nd Street bathrooms north. And they hadn't defined north yet. We wanted to know how far north. They finally did define that for us. It's all the way to the Ecola State Park parking lot. And so what this means is they will shut off power if we were at risk for any reason. If there's a fire around us that presents some sort of a risk to the community and or there's some sort of event in the power that would potentially cause a risk. They're communicating directly or already have communicated directly with all the business owners downtown so people know how to plan for this, and obviously with us. And so it's, at first we were kind of nervous about it. It's somewhat non-eventful until we have some sort of event. And they just wanted us to be aware that they would proactively kill the power until whatever the risk has been mitigated. And so that is happening. It'll probably last until the end of September, unless this, dry spell or heat were to continue for some reason, that they could extend that. Right now, that's what they've told us.
Well, that's very good because I live in that zone.
Yeah.
So I've got a couple of generators.
Yep,
So-
people will get automated recorded calls to whatever number you have on record with the power company, and or email if you've chosen to be communicated with via email instead of phone. But they will be reaching out directly to the customers that could be impacted if they were to kill the power.
It's very good. Thank you.
Really has nothing to do with us. We don't control it or anything. It's just a matter of a communications type thing. So I want to bring that up. We had both RFPs awarded for East Harrison and our pump stations. So McEwen was the bid winner on East line replacement. So that has been issued and awarded, and we're going to get that project kickoff started. Same with our Midway and Siuslaw pump stations. O'Brien won that bid. And so we will be scheduling the kickoff for that as well. The RFP for the Midtown bathroom came in exorbitantly high. So when I took it to council with the intent of awarding, our recommendation was we not go forward. And so we will rebid that and see how it looks next year. Phase 1, we had of our water resiliency project, which is our seismic valves. We had our mandatory walkthrough meeting and we had 5 contractors show up. So that's great. And, for all intents and purposes, those 5 would bid on the project. If they didn't participate in the walkthrough, they can't bid on the project. So we know that we'll have potentially 5 bidders. So that's where we are with all of our projects that we had out to bid and kind of the status of everything. We have an extremely full plate right now. So we're trying to get things under control a little bit, and team's been doing a great job managing all this. So thanks to Trevor, being on top of it, just leading the pack. So we're in a good place. We're getting a lot of great things done and progressing. So phase 2 is really getting close to us being able to put out the RFP. We have to finalize the easement with the conference center, and they're holding that process up. So we're working through that right now to try to get that in place. We can't actually put that project out to bid until we have proof that we have legal authorization to actually build that project because we're on somebody else's property. And so we're encouraging our conference center friends to get moving on that. So that's our holdup on phase 2. Other than that, we're in a good place.
I don't have any idea why they're holding it up or just.
Their biggest concern is they had plans to expand their zip line. And the position of the new tank is close to that zip line area. And so they have some concerns about that. They actually wanted the city to pay the cost of expanding their zip line and putting in a new trail that accessed it for the use of their property. And that'd be about $100,000. So we're not real excited about that. So the negotiations are being done by other people than me. So we're just working through that.
Right, gun to the head.
Well, congratulations again on that.
Yeah, very much.
Thank you.
That 481,000, that's great.
Team's done a great job. The guys have worked super.
Yeah, well, that's a 9-pound trout.
Last year they had a banner year. I think this year they're.
Yes. That's,
Yeah,
Exactly.
so
One more project we're doing next week is the main pump station generator. We're gonna be turning into the building to pull out the old generator. And putting a brand new generator in its place and building a removable wall. So we don't have to tear
a
another
little
building.
alleyway where you exit that parking lot will be closed. We thought, why not in the summer with, some excitement during hood to coast, shut the parking lot down.
Right. We just-
the coast is what, Seaside is going.
It won't be closed. We're making it just a
Yeah.
two-way in and out at the entrance. So that they can stage all the equipment and the guys will have a safe work zone because they're blowing out that back wall to be able to get that new generator in. So Trevor's right. Thank you for bringing that up. So timing is not the best, but it has to be done. We got all these projects and we have to just keep moving. Delaying it is very costly to the city. And so sometimes we just have to swallow hard and do the best we can and keep going. So and then after that's done, soon thereafter, we should be starting the Center Street stair repair down at that beach access. That's been a long awaited project. We had really a lot of delay in getting the permit from OPRD, and we're both sharing in the cost of that because some of it's on their footprint, some of it's on our footprint. So it'll be the last beach and access that we have to repair for a while. We've done a lot of the ones that Kurt had his wish list, and now we've pretty much completed that. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you, Trevor. Anything else you think of? I forgot.
Ecola, the new generator at Ecola is ready to roll. So that's got a brand new generator too.
Mhm.
And
We
that's
had to
it.
do some
Great.
venting and new louvers and stuff, so the building looked kind of patched up. So the guys got it all cleaned up, repainted with the same color, and it looks really good. So the startup of that is
Yeah.
the 25th.
The official startup of it. Yeah.
So Cat Peterson and
Good.
Kennedy Beach Electric will be there and officially start it up. So we'll have a brand new generator there before the winter times. Will be great. Nobody has to sleep in their truck anymore at the pump station. Yeah. So we've been busy.
Things you have to do.
Cheers. Anybody want to come spend the night at a pump station?
Oh,
We
yeah.
like those fire lookout sites that you get to go camp at the fire lookout site. You can camp at the Public Works, pump station. Yeah, so that's the world of Public Works.
Thank you, that's pretty
Yeah.
exciting. Okay, anything for good of the order? Amber?
Yeah, I have two questions, actually. I think two questions for Karen and her team.
Sure.
I wanted to know, I recently heard about a new road that's going in at the 55-acre Southwind property for access, and I was trying to find that on the website, on the Cannon Beach website, and I wanted to know about that. I think it's to access a dump site up there, and I wanted to know more about that. I was hoping you could explain. And then I have two more things I wanted to get at before the end of this meeting. And so, Karen, maybe we'd start there.
So I'm not sure I understand. What new road are you talking about?
So I saw, and I'm trying to think about, I've been actually trying to find it on the city website, and I haven't been able to find it, but a friend printed out the map, and actually it was city documentation of a road that was connecting, it was going from the 55-acre property, the Southwind property, a new road. And I don't know if it was Lewis and Clark that was kind of imposing this new road or
The dump
asking
site.
this
The
new
dump
road
site.
site.
We don't have a new road going in at our spoils site. We have access through the Greenwood or Nuveen's property. We had a contract with a private road owner that they have not renewed yet. They contacted me yesterday with the desire to go ahead and renew that and move forward. There were some issues with two neighbors up there, I guess, concerning that access. So I don't know if we're going to renew it. We have access through Nuveen's properties so that we really don't need that. We have thought about putting a road in on our own property, but we may just wait until the police station is built. Look at that, but we are getting estimates on what that would cost if we were to do that. And the county gave us approval to do some vegetation removal so we could see what the grade is in that area where we would propose a road, but we're not putting any roads in.
Okay, maybe that's what that was about. I was just curious because I hadn't heard anything, and I was like, I don't know anything about that, so I wanted to ask.
Sure, yeah.
Thank you. My second question is an email that I saw. It was just a community email that went around that was talking about the high levels. It was actually pretty alarming, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is not good. The high levels specifically of our specific Cannon Beach fecal waste in our beaches in Cannon Beach. And obviously that's from sewer waste going into our beach. And so I was just wondering why our beaches in particular are so high. It was like citing 67 and 77% that had been tested. It was a national newspaper or, national reporting. I think it went out 2 weeks ago. And I was just kind of curious. It was citing it. It was the state that had done testings of all Oregon beaches relative to wide beaches. And I was just wondering if there was a reason why, and if we could monitor it better and how we bring those levels down.
Well, the DEQ has a state, team that monitors our beaches, and they do all the testing, and that's where the advisories come from. When you see a beach advisory being issued, it's all through DEQ and their state teams. I'm not sure which communication you're referring to. We've seen a variety of communications regarding the algae that's been growing in Ecola Creek, and you just saw an advisory go out on Cullowhee Lake last night.
Yeah.
It's due to the heat. And, I'm not an expert in that arena, but all that is controlled through the state. And so they send those advisories out. But if you'll send me the one you're specifically talking about, I'll see what I can find out and provide the information to you and the team.
Great. I'll do that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The last one is just Jan's question that she asked at the beginning of the meeting. That would be the last thing that I'd want to make sure that we addressed.
Oh, yeah. The water usage.
Yep, out of Ecola Creek. Yeah.
I'll have Daniel come to one of our future meetings. It's difficult in the summertime because the guys are so busy. I can't afford to pull them in here
No,
for an hour to do this. The guys this morning are working on a leak up on Oak. And so I will schedule a time when Daniel can come and talk to the team in September's meeting and or October, when things settle down a little bit, and talk to you about measures, everything, every single year. And when we start sending water to town, it's typically in our summer seasons.
Yeah.
Every year it's routine, but it is not precise. He doesn't start on a certain day. It depends on how dry the weather is and when he decides to send in water to town. He measures and monitors all this. He has 41 years. And so there's nobody better at it than Daniel. And believe me, if there was any reason for concern over anything, he would be giving the leadership a heads up. And we would always communicate that not only to council, but to our committee meetings. And so it's routine that we start sending water to town every summer. But when the consultants did a evaluation for council several years back on the amount of water that our springs provide,
Mhm.
we have an overabundance of water. And at that time, we discussed that doesn't mean that we could just take it for granted and not conserve water. We have continued with our quest and commitment to conserve our water and be good stewards of our water. This is why we've launched the campaign about ion water, done all the things that we've done, made the capital investment for the meters where people can see what, water they're using. And so we do not have a water shortage, any stretch of the imagination.
Correct.
But that doesn't mean that Daniel doesn't continue to watch it.
Right.
Doesn't mean that we shouldn't be cognizant and continue to monitor it just like we have for years. But we are not in a situation where we are running even remotely close to what our water capacities are based on the 3 springs that we get water from.
Right.
Doesn't mean that we aren't still interested in adding to that watershed. If we were to have an opportunity to acquire land that would give us a water source that is fed from a different head than what feeds the current springs. That doesn't make sense to get a piece of property that's fed from the same spring that these are fed from. You want to be able to get an additional source, right? And so if that were to present itself by our adjoining neighbors or anything around that, that would be something we would be going to council and discussing.
Right. Several months ago, Trevor covered that topic very well.
Yes.
In depth. And so we don't really have the concern because the springs usually are very full and we tap it only when we absolutely need it.
Only do it in the summertime.
Yes.
In our driest months. And like I say, that it has been discussed before in the committee meetings. It's been discussed to nauseam in council. We paid a third-party consultant to come in and look at that and evaluate that and measure that. And kind of it's our check and balance of how we're measuring it. And all of that was presented to council. And so I don't want to reinvent that wheel. It was a costly process for us. But I can assure you that we are not at a position where we are even remotely close to our capacity.
Very good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Blood drive, September 12th, so sign up. We need your blood.
Okay. Very good.
We need your blood.
You gotta get some vampire fangs when you say that. We want your blood.
Somewhere around October 31st. There's a bunch right around Halloween.
Yeah, let's do a huge campaign on Halloween.
All right, so if nothing else is, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I move.
Yep. Second.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much. Have a good week.
Thank you very much.
Oh.